What is the path to success?
The ultimate path to success is to define what success means to you, then set goals for how you can achieve that definition of success. It's also important to understand that every person's definition of success is different. This means that every person's path to success will be slightly different. Success can be finding a job you like, finding a good partner, having kids you are proud of, having a happy family life, retiring on a beach with a pina colada, having a Lamborghini, or a myriad of other things.
What happens when someone is not sure about what success means to them? How should they go about discovering it?
You can ask yourself some tough questions. What makes you happy? If you won the lottery and money was no object, what would you do? If you had $1 million right now, what would you spend it on? What makes you excited to get out of bed in the morning? Where do you want to be in 1, 5, and 10 years?
Sometimes we are all entangled in financial responsibilities or family responsibilities. In such a situation, how can someone follow their passion and fulfill their dreams?
That's definitely a common problem that people face. We often have to take on things due to responsibility or because of necessity in the moment. That's why many people find it difficult to leave their job or change their lives. They are afraid of sacrificing their family or their income. The question to ask yourself is whether it is more important to spend your life doing what you are passionate about or sacrificing that passion for the sake of your family and responsibilities. Only you can make that decision, and your family, of course. But sometimes you have to take a few risks to follow your dreams.
Sometimes taking this risk might cause too many hardships and setbacks. I know one of my friend who followed his dreams ended up with a 250,000 debt.
It can absolutely cause hardships and setbacks. And in some cases, those setbacks can cause a lot more hardship than the potential reward. Everyone's situation is different, and some people face much more difficult scenarios than others. In the case of your friend, they now understand what the risks of that decision are. They took a leap, but it didn't pan out. Does that mean you won't take the same chance? Or does that mean you'll find better ways to make it work now that you know what can go wrong?
That's true. In this case, risk management is very important and paramount towards having some more success in life.
And this is why many successful people and failed entrepreneurs recommend that before you start your own business, you have 3 to 6 months of all of your living expenses saved up in a separate account so you can manage the risk of potentially starting a business that is not immediately profitable.
Right. Can you describe more about risk management and what we can do?
There are two main types of risk: perceived risk and real risk. Perceived risk is what we think the risk will be before we take the risk, and real risk is the actual impact the risk makes on our lives. In business and life, the key is balancing the risk against the reward. For example, starting a new business can have perceived and real risk, but the payoff could be huge. This means that you have to assess whether the perceived and real risks are greater or less than the potential payoff.
Sometimes, while following our passion, it could be in some kind of artistic endeavor that is not very profitable. In such a scenario, what is the best course of action?
It's a bit of an age old question. Should you follow a passion or should you do something that makes money? There are many ways to go about this, and you really need to determine whether or not a passion can make money. For example, the arts are a passion for many people, but being a famous singer isn't going to happen to most people with a passion for singing. This doesn't mean that the singer can't find ways to make money with their talents. It just means, more than likely, they will have to get creative.
That's a very positive way to look at it. In fact, yesterday outside Safeway, I found one person who was playing a musical instrument. He was not very good, but he was really having a blast and a fun time doing his music. So he was following his passion, even though he was not making a lot of money or not attracting a huge crowd.
That's the thing about art. A lot of it is about self gratification. I don't know much about the music industry, so I can't say whether or not musicians can make a lot of money without being famous. But I'll say one thing: people who do what they love for the purpose of enjoying what they are doing enjoy it a lot more than people who do things for the purpose of money or recognition.
That is true. And especially in the path of success, the journey is more important than the ultimate destination. So the more fun and fulfillment we have along the path, that gives us ultimately more success, I believe.
100%. Most of us will be on this planet for fewer than 100 years, and we'll spend most of that time working. So, what is more important? Making as much money as you can, or finding something that is fulfilling to do?
That's so true. And coming to the point of fulfillment, how does one find fulfillment and how does one find that clarity in pursuing their passion?
That, my friend, is a difficult question to tackle. I would say it comes down to personal preferences. Some people find fulfillment through spirituality, while others find it through work, family, and relationships. I think the most important aspect is knowing what makes you happy, and that comes down to trial and error. You've got to find what makes you happy and what gives you purpose.
Sometimes I've seen that what gives a person clarity and purpose might be only relevant to them. When they attempt to share it with others, they may not find that kind of validation or response. In such a situation, what should that person do?
That's a fair question. I think in that scenario, the most important thing is to identify why you are seeking validation and responses. There are many reasons to share something with other people other than finding validation, and it's important to recognize what you want out of the interaction before determining if you were successful. The other aspect to this question is, what are you sharing? Maybe you want to share a new business idea, or you created art, or wrote a book. The thing itself matters a lot because it informs why you want validation.
Sometimes I've seen that people want to help others and share their thoughts so that they feel that it may make a difference in other people's life.
That is very possible. The question I have to ask is this: do you need validation and a response in order to feel fulfilled? Sometimes we have to give with the knowledge or belief that we are going to have a positive impact, not that it will be reciprocated.
That is so true. As long as we as a human species continue to share our knowledge, wisdom without the expectation of something tangible or intangible in return, that would be such a powerful state of being.
It would, but humans as a species are not very logical at times. To do something without the expectation of something in return, especially if you are sharing knowledge, is a wonderful yet difficult thing. We all expect some sort of validation or reciprocity. A lot of times, in order for you to share and be without expectation, you have to understand why you need reciprocation or validation. What is the root of that need?
Don't we all, as a human being, need to know that we are on the right path and that validations will only come from some other human beings?
We often need that, yes. I would go so far as to say it's part of being human. But when you really think about it, that is a rather selfish and self centered need. That's not to say that you shouldn't share or be willing to give without a return. Just be aware of the need, the desire, and the root of it. I think you are on the path to doing that, and that is a tremendous feat.
Thank you very much. Yes, I like to share my wisdom, my knowledge on YouTube, on Facebook, and on WhatsApp, and also on Instagram. That gives me a lot of fulfillment and it brings me closer to my goal of becoming a successful happiness coach.
I'm happy you are fulfilling your passion. A good question to ask is, where is the fulfillment coming from? From the content, from the community you are building, from the feedback, from the impact you are creating. Once you are aware of what exactly is bringing you fulfillment, you'll know how to continue down the right path.
I do feel that I want to create an impact, yeah, in a positive way by adding value in lives of other people. I have yet to find the most suitable way of delivering my content. Right now, I'm using YouTube and books and quotes, but I have not found a consistent way in which I can find some kind of user base that either I can monetize or that I can say for sure that this is what I will commit for the rest of my life.
There are several methods of finding a consistent user base, but the primary two that come to mind are SEO and networking. SEO, search engine optimization, helps you be found by people searching for stuff that is related to what you create and do. And networking gets people to share your content and find your content through word of mouth. Both of these can be difficult to understand, but are very powerful once you learn to how to do them successfully.
Yes, down the road, I will definitely try both these options. At the moment, I'm fine tuning my content. I started out with four pillars, which is physical well being, emotional well being, financial well being, and spiritual well being. And I randomly create content around all these four pillars.
That's a great way to start. Another tip I would recommend is to start creating your own products that relate to your content. For example, you could easily use Canva to create ebooks and sell them on Amazon, sell printables on Etsy, create a blog related to your content, etc.
Yes, and I'm following all those approaches. So that is my path for success. What are the general other paths that regular folks can use to either add some passive income into their wealth creation plan?
Passive income is very similar to the way to generate active income. The easiest way to do it is to make and sell digital products. 1. Write an ebook on a topic and sell it on Amazon. 2. Make a course and sell it on Udemy or Teachable. 3. Make and sell a lead magnet and collect emails. Once you collect emails, you can start marketing your products to them. There are many other ways. These are just some of the more common ways to begin.
Ultimately, how does one guarantee that the effort and the time that they are putting into their projects is going to materialize into something meaningful? Is there a foolproof way, or should they assume the risk before they start?
No, there is no foolproof way, and there is always risk involved in starting a business or doing something new that you haven't done before. There is a way to mitigate risk, but never eliminate it. It's called testing and validation. Before you start anything new, you should ask 1. What problem does this solve? 2. Are people willing to pay for the solution to that problem? 3. How do I test my idea with a minimum viable product?
What if there are existing business models and a person wants to create something which is an integration or amalgamation of the existing models, but that person has not yet found their sweet spot?
What I usually recommend is to do the basic math of the business model. Let's say you want to start a business where you buy products on Amazon, one existing business model, and resell them on Shopify, another existing business model. If you can find a product with high demand and you can find it on Amazon or Walmart, and the sale price is high enough to cover Amazon's fees, the sale on Shopify, and create profit margin of 10 to 20%, then you have a viable business model you can test and launch.
That is interesting. More likely like an arbitrage opportunity. I'm looking for something more that is original and that is content based, which can make an impact on people's life.
The same math still applies. If you can find an original content based idea, you have to ask yourself the same questions. What problem are you solving? Are people willing to pay for a solution to that problem? How can I test this idea with minimal effort and time? If all three questions are successfully answered, then you should move forward. It may take a while, but you'll get there.
So I think we had a wonderful discussion about how to analyze risk, what are the paths to success, and how to build a mindset for success. Can you summarize all the topics that we discussed?
Here's a summary. 1. Taking a risk is a part of success, and how a person should look at risk is dependent upon a few factors such as financial situation, family situation, and resources. 2. There is no magic formula for success, but the main path for success revolves around doing what makes you happy and being better at it. 3. Successful people build a mindset of success that is built upon the belief that they can achieve their goals and by knowing what they are good at.
I think we had a wonderful conversation. I'm so happy, and I will talk to you very soon.
You did great work. I will talk to you soon too.